The story starts with the narrator saying the Kalios Empire is the largest nation on the continent with a long history and a ghost tale just as old. It is said that a monster resides in the dark forests of Kalios, and if you lie, it will come and eat you. Of course, it was a simple tale that parents used to discipline their kids. They did not believe that the monster really exists, however. The scene changes to soldiers burying something. One soldier says it's disgusting, and no matter how many times he smells it, the red eye stays silent while gazing at the fire. A big magic stone comes out from the monster's corpse. A soldier says to Red Eye, "Young master, take a look." Red Eye said, "I am leaving the rest to you." The narrator says Duke Hickel's family is aware of the monster's existence. This family has protected the north of the empire for generations. A powerful family respected by the imperial family. They have a secret that they have demon blood flowing through their veins. Especially Aslan de Hickel, the eldest son of the Duke, has inherited this power the strongest. At 14 years old, he became a hunter. He would go out in the forest no matter what happened. Aslan says something, shaking. He goes near it and sees a small blonde girl. Aslan asked to himself, is she a human? Time skips to 5 years later. The blonde girl is going in the carriage. She is shaking, remembering what her stepmom said. She thinks to herself, I thought they would sell me off to marry someone. Someone I don't know at all. Maids were gossiping. The man-lady role, or the blonde girl, is said to marry, have deformities. Ah yes, it's Hickel, the one who said to be sick and covered in burn marks. A maid said that he might be a vampire. The maid said, heavens, I feel sorry for our poor girl. The red-haired guard said, we are entering Duchy of Hickel. The role replies, oh, all right. Thank you. Maids were gossiping. I heard that a merchant who went through the forest went missing again. That's right, the exact cause is unknown. How many times has it been now? Others reply, oh my, are there really monsters there? Roll thinks this is the Kamish forest. I am a little scared now. The carriage starts shaking violently. The red-haired soldier tries to shield Roll. The carriage gets overturned. The red-haired asks, are you okay? Don't come out. And he goes out to fight the monster. Roll, terrified, thinks to herself, is it a mountain beast? After some time, the roars of the monster stop. Roll was terrified and trembling. Aslan asks, are you hurt anywhere, Roll? Roll asks, do we know each other? Aslan flinches and says, I am Aslan de Hickel. After a time skip, Rose wakes up. The red-haired person asks, are you waking up? The red hair tells her, a herd of wild animals attacked the carriage. Roll thinks to herself, that was a wild animal? The red hair says, we would have been in big trouble if the young master were not near. Roll asks, are you referring to Hickel? The red hair replied, yes, that's right, in a stoic tone. Roll starts to blush while thinking, he wasn't ugly or crippled. While blushing, Roll says in a sweet voice, well, then, where's the prince? The red hair replied, the young master and the rest stay behind to wipe out the wild animals. He says we're almost there, that's the Duchy of Hickel. Roll thinks to herself, it's such a big and spacious house. A shout came, where are you spacing out? Roll gets scared. The red hair replied, this voice, it looks like Madame is training the knights. The Duchess shouts, concentrate. The loser gets 100 laps of the training ground. Knights shout, yes. Roll tries to get out of the carriage but trips and almost falls. The Duchess holds her in time. Roll says, thank you, and starts to blush. The Duchess asks the butler, who is she? Is she a new maid? The butler replies, this is the daughter of Viscount Roalinthia. She shouts, what, confusingly, and said, really? This small and young girl. The butler replies, that's right, my lady. She shouts, are you serious? She's in terrible condition. Roll gets scared. The Duchess said, first, make her look like a human. After bathing, Roll looks like an angel. Roll says to herself, I don't even recognize myself. The butler says, Adam, was there anything that made you feel uncomfortable? Roll replies, yes. The butler introduces herself and says, I am Duke Hickel's butler. Please call me Danion. Roll says, hey Danion, what happens to me now? The butler replies, "What do you mean?" Roll says, "I feel like the Duchess doesn't like me that much." The butler replied in a sweet voice, "The lady was just worried because you looked so thin and weak." Roll thinks to herself, that was her being worried? What's up with her facial expressions? Yeah, me too. She was too grumpy, like a grandma. The butler replies, "It's a little late to welcome you, but welcome to the Duchy of Hickel." Roll. Butler starts showing her the castle. He says, "If you go up there, you will find the servants' quarters. There is the banquet hall. There, we have a kitchen and a warehouse." Roll thinks to herself, to be efficient, I have to memorize the kitchen and warehouse well. The butler says, "Oh dear, you must be tired. I spoke too much. Let's take you to your room now." Roll thinks to herself, wow, and says, "This is my room?" The butler replies, "Yes, Lady Roll, you will be living here." Roll thinks to herself, for me to live in such a luxurious place, the Viscountess most likely never lived in a place this luxurious. Is there a mistake? Am I dreaming? And slaps her hand. The butler asks, "My lady, if you don't like the room?" Suddenly, the Duchess says, "Lady Roll." Roll starts to greet her. The Duchess says, "Lady Roll, please tell me honestly." Roll replies, "What is it?" The Duchess asks, "Are you really 16? Roll replies, "Yes." The Duchess replies, "Oh, heavens." Roll thinks to herself, could it be that Viscountess Roalinthia lied about my age to them? Roll says, "Forgive me, Your Grace." The Duchess raises her hand and says, "You are so tiny and skinny. Aren't you hungry?" Roll says, I am fine." The Duchess says to the butler, "Let's feed her something first." The scene shifts to a table full of food. The Duchess says, "Lady Roll, are there any foods you can't consume?" Roll replies, "No." The Duchess says, "Then, is there anything you'd like to eat?" Roll replies, "Nothing in particular." Roll thinks to herself, at the Roalinthia mansion, it was normal for me to starve. It's amazing to be able to eat a meal here. The Duchess says, "Go on, eat." Roll replies, "Thanks," and takes a spoonful of soup. The Duchess asks, "What's wrong, Lady Roll?" Roll replies, "I have never eaten something so delicious." The Duchess gets flabbergasted and sends a maid to get more soup. The Duchess shouts, "Bring another bowl of mushroom soup for Lady Roll." "No, bring the whole pot." Roll gets flabbergasted. Time skips to sunset. The maid says, "Have a good rest, my lady," and closes the door. Roll sits on the bed, holding her tummy, and thinks, I am full. How long has it been for me to eat this much? They were keep feeding me. And when Roll said, "I can't eat anymore," the Duchess replied, "How can you be full after only eating that?" Roll says, "I should eat more next time even if I feel bloated." Roll thinks to herself while touching the soft bed and soft sheets, I have been sleeping on hard floors for so long. I stayed in a cot made of straw once. I fell asleep while making the Viscountess' bed. There was a time I was harshly scolded. I can't believe I really left that mansion. I might wake up to find out that all of this was a dream if I fall asleep. I am lucky to not be kicked out yet. If I misbehave even a little bit, I might have to go back instantly. Roll says, as much as the Duchess has been nice to me, I must start being useful from tomorrow. As expected, this is better. Please don't kick me out of here. Next day, Roll wakes up, shocked to find it's already past dawn. She hurriedly starts cleaning her room. Suddenly, the Duchess enters the room and says in a sweet voice, "Wake up, Miss Roll." The Duchess asks, "Oh, good. What are you doing right now?" Roll replies, "Yes, Duchess, I'm sorry that I woke up late." The Duchess replies, "Late? It's completely fine. You woke up just in time. Now, shall we get ready to go out? Because we have a lot to do today." Roll asks, "A lot to do?" The Duchess replies, "We're going shopping." The scene shifts to them being in a carriage. The Duchess says, "This is the city of Cadium." They enter a clothing store. The shopkeeper says, "Welcome, my Lady Duchess." The Duchess says, "Today, I came to buy this lady some clothes." Roll replies, "Clothes for me?" The Duchess says, "Yes, actually, I had no idea Roll was such a small girl. I was told you were 16 years old, so I prepared clothes that fit that age. So, why don't we just buy you new clothes? So, shall we begin?" The Duchess says, "This color suits you well too. I will buy it." I will buy all of them. The shopkeeper says, here you go, Duchess. The one with lace on the sleeve. Oh, frills would be nice too. Miss Roll, would you like to try this on too? The shopkeeper says, oh my God, it looks so good on you. You two also look like sisters because you're wearing dresses that look exactly alike. The Duchess asks, do you like it, Miss Roll? Roll replies, yes, it's very pretty. The Duchess replies, it's not the clothes that are pretty, but Miss Roll is. Roll starts to blush. The Duchess says, well, we only have a few clothes here, right? Roll replies, what? The Duchess replies, don't worry. I will be calling the designer directly from the capital next week. Well, we still have a long way to go. Let's go to the next store quickly. They enter a jewelry store. Roll is seeing jewels. Suddenly, the Duchess calls her and says, this is a welcome gift for me. Roll says, huh? But I can't accept something this expensive. The Duchess says, you don't like it? Roll says, should I say I like it? But it's too expensive. The Duchess shouts, is this really the best there is? Isn't there anything better? Roll says, no, I like it very much. The Duchess says, really? Then shall we go to the next store? Roll thinks to herself, normally, this is what I would do. The Duchess holds her hand and starts to run while saying, how long has it been since I went out with someone like this? Now that I think about it, I heard you were attacked on your way back home yesterday. They said you weren't injured, but I am sure you were scared, right? Roll says, I am okay. The driver did his best to protect us, and also the young master came to help us. The Duchess says, what a relief. Aslan left. He went to get rid of those wild animals, so don't worry. But the timing wasn't the best for sure. Actually, they don't appear this often. The Duchess asks in a stoic tone, Ms. Roll, how much do you know about the Duchy of Hickel? Roll replies in a sad tone, sorry, I don't know much. I am lacking a lot. The Duchess replies, that's not true. What is lacking is not Miss Roll but this duchy. Roll asks, why? The Duchess replies, you will probably find out soon. My husband and son will be back soon. Roll thinks about Aslan again. The Duchess asks, are you hungry? Shall we go have lunch now? There is a good restaurant over there. Roll thinks to herself, the rumors about the Duke family that are spreading around in the world are only negative rumors. However, it was only the second day of staying at the Duke's house, and I began to suspect that most of the rumors were false. Prince Hickel, who saved me yesterday, was a kind person. Even the Duchess, they call her a cold knight with no blood or tears. Yet, this is the first time in my life that I have met someone so merciful and kind. The Duchess gifts her a rabbit purse. Roll thinks to herself, the Duchess is treating me like her daughter. Roll accidentally drops the gold coin. Roll tries to hold it again, but a thug stops her.